Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Stone Stadium, where Austin and I are very glad to be back. Very special one tonight, senior night for these Gamecocks. It should be a good one. We were talking a little bit before the game just about how hard of a match this is to be predicted. As especially in Sun Belt play, where these teams obviously they both play the same teams and they've had very different results against the same teams. Most notably, last game, the Gamecocks losing 4-0 to UCF. That was a game that Georgia Southern was able to win, actually, 2-0. So UCF didn't even put up any goals on the board, and the Gamecocks weren't able to score against UCF. But very interesting matchup tonight. I'm interested to hear your thoughts, Austin, on this one.
Yeah, I'm really excited to get this game underway. I'm very excited to see how South Carolina plays this one tonight. If you take a look at the standings, South Carolina is currently 4th in the Sun Belt, and we believe this to be true. We were looking online a little bit, doing our research before earlier, but in the Sun Belt Conference Tournament, if you are the higher seed, you get to host the conference tournament game. So South Carolina does have a lot to play for tonight, and I don't know if it's a must-win because you can still make a run in the Sun Belt Conference Tournament, but a win tonight would really boost that resume for the NCAA College Cup Tournament. So a lot to play for here for South Carolina tonight. And for Georgia Southern, same thing. They are just a couple points above teams like Coastal Carolina and those bottom teams. They are looking to not be below a 7 seed where they currently sit right now, so they are looking for the best matchup possible. So both teams are going to be playing a real hard, chippy, aggressive game tonight. I think I think we'll see a lot of goal scoring. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, in my opinion, or it's going to be a great defensive battle because people are just going to be stepping in front of the balls, stepping in front of people, and just making any sort of play that they can because it's such a big game and so many points are up for grabs for both these teams tonight.
You mentioned could be a high-scoring affair. Carolina 12th in the nation in goals per game. I know that seems like a relatively small sample size, but still, this team is capable on both sides of the ball. I feel like we mentioned Goldsworthy. He's been honored tonight for senior night. And Jonah Begar as well, both receiving accolades this season from the Sun Belt. That defense is just as good as the attack, and we look at to the attack as well, and you've got people like Ballack and Myring. I mean, great squad. I'm really interested to see how they stack up against Georgia Southern, who could definitely give them a game tonight.
Yeah, you mentioned Harrison Myring and Ethan Ballack. They have both scored 9 goals on the season. That's the most by a Gamecock in a season since Danny Deacon scored 11 in 2015. So this is definitely the most offensive output. And it's not just one player for the Gamecocks. It is multiple players. So that is really exciting to see if you're a South Carolina fan. I know head coach Tony Annan love to see that on offense. They can get the ball rolling, and they can score quick. If you do not come out the gate swinging as an opponent, you will get scored on immediately by either Ballack or Myring. So I'm interested to see how quickly that gets underway tonight.
Intro video is playing here at Stone Stadium. We'll go ahead and take you through the starting lineup tonight. In between the sticks for the Gamecocks is Philippe Vestier. Number 2, Andrew Goldsworthy, as we mentioned, already honored for senior night. Number 5, William Nilsson. Number 10, Ethan Ballack. Number 12, Sebastian Revelo-Morier, also a senior. Number 13, Jonah Begar. Number 14, Camden Kowalski. Number 15, Alejandro Velazquez-Lopez. Number 17, a rare face in the starting lineup, Sonny Quintanilla, being honored for senior night as well. Ted Cargill gets the nod, and Harrison Myring up top for the Gamecocks, also a senior.
Yeah, exciting to see what Sonny can do. On Georgia Southern, on the other side of the ball, we got defense number 5, Alistar Donjon. At forward, number 7, we've got Ryan Holmes. Midfield, number 8, Kevin Pierre. Forward, number 10, Harvey Sirajan. At midfield, number 12, Noah Holstrom. Defense, number 13, Julian Sehier. Forward, number 17, Ricky Lewis. Defense, number 25, Massimo Caruso. Midfield, number 29, Harry Dale. Also at midfield, number 31, Joe O'Connor. And playing goalkeeper is number 36, Nate Martinez for Georgia Southern.
Yes, as Velazquez-Lopez will be just about to kick us off here at Stone Stadium following this whistle, and here we go. We'll play back to Cargill and Sebastian Revelo-Morier. We'll send it out to the left-hand side for Sonny Quintanilla, playing a nice cross-field ball all the way out to William Nilsson, who has been a threat on both sides of the ball. 2 goals and 1 assist this season. He'll retain possession and send it back to Vestier and back out to the left-hand side for Jonah Begar. So some of this nice possession that we've been able to see this season. Austin, really not afraid to hold the ball in their own half. They move it really well. Ball goes out of play there on the far side. Gamecocks going right to left, and the Eagles going left to right.
Yeah, I like how you mentioned how well possessed the Gamecocks are. They don't attack anything. They don't go too crazy and make spur of the moment decisions. They wait until they find the open man, and it usually works out for them. That one just a little rusty, a little slow getting out the gate, but they're going to bounce back soon.
It'll be a throw in for the Eagles, their first bit of possession of the game, coming off of Camden Kowalski on that side. They're unable to get anything out of that, and Goldsworthy will shield it all the way to the foot of Vestier, who will try to play it quickly now out to the other side with Jonah Begar. Play a pass to Quintanilla, which will miss his foot and roll out of bounds. It'll be a throw in for number 13, Julian C. here, who, fun fact, went to the rival high school of the kids that live in the room next to me in my building, which they told me today, from Johns Creek, Georgia. Of course, a lot of Georgians on this team. Martinez will send it out all the way to the left-hand side with number 5, that's Alistair Donjon. Ricky Lewis is through here off of a long ball. He takes a shot. It'll be blocked by Vestier. Ball comes back out to the top of the box for Holman. Save again, double save for Philippe Vestier.
Huge saves by Vestier. That was Georgia Southern's opportunity to get at the Gamecocks early. I just mentioned it a couple of minutes ago right before the game that the Gamecocks like to jump on teams early. So far, it's been all ball in the Gamecock half and not fully Gamecock possession. There was 2 great chances from Georgia Southern. Vestier standing tall in goal.
Vestier definitely wanting to right his wrongs from last match, in which they were unable to keep the clean sheet, as we mentioned earlier, 4-0 loss to UCF. But you expect a lot more from Ryan Holmes there. He's their top goal scorer with 10, which is good enough to put him joint 21st in the nation in the goal scoring statistic.
Yeah, it's been a freshman frenzy for Georgia Southern this season. Freshman Eagles have scored 5 of the last 6 goals in the latter half of this season. That includes 4 straight, with Joe O'Connor and Matthew Dean scoring against Old Dominion, and Harvey Sargent and Ricky Lewis doing so in the 2-0 UCF win. So freshmen really produce here.
Long ball going out to the right-hand side for Kowalski. Will play it down for Ballack, who loses his footing only as far as Sargent. And he's dispossessed. Revelin Morier in the middle doing the dirty work as he does. Jonah Begar in his own half will send the ball out to Quintanilla on the left wing and back to Jonah Begar, who actually bagged his first goal of the season 3 games ago, against James Madison, where they won 3-1. The ball will roll all the way back to Martinez, who will plant his foot on top of the ball and send it out to his right back, Seher. He will try to find Harry Dale, who we mentioned Holmes. He's from England. Harry Dale is from England. Some of their best performers this season coming from England. Harry Dale is their top assister this season with 4. And as I mentioned, Holmes has 10, but he has 4 of his own in the assist column, which very clinical guy. He'll expect to do better with his next chance, as we mentioned, his first shot directly at Vestier's chest.
Over the few broadcasts we've done this season, Zander, we've talked about how much foreign talent the Gamecocks have, but Georgia Southern has some of their own. Ole Saunier from Norway, another one, Alistair Donjon from France. So they've definitely got their fair share of foreign talent as well.
Yes, possession will lie with Joe O'Connor in the middle of the park for the Eagles. We'll send it out to his left back. That will be Caruso, I believe. Possession lies with Seher on their right-hand side, closest to us in the press box. He'll send it back over to number 5, Dan John. Back out to the left for Caruso. Ball into the middle for Lewis is cut out by William Nilsson, but it'll fall right back to Caruso. Martinez in possession now, way out of his box, a little bit out of his comfort zone, I can see, but he's been done well on the ball so far. Send it to his center back, Noah Holstrom, as you were just mentioning, Austin. Header won by Kowalski, and that will see the ball roll out of play for another early throw for this Eagles side. It'll be Caruso, the left back, taking it.
A little bit of a methodical start to this game for the Gamecocks. Want to see a little more pep in their step here as they get going again.
Goldsworthy's called into action to cut out a high pass. Revelin Morier will take a touch and send it out to the right wing for Ballack, who will work back and play a crossfield ball to Jonah Begar with some space to work with. We'll send it out to Quintanilla. Quintanilla will send it right back, bouncing it for him. Nice pass to Velasquez Lopez, different hyphenated midfielder name. Ballack will be in possession just outside the top of the box. We'll send it out wide to Kowalski. He's dangerous with his right hand, with his right foot. Could have sent a cross in. Velasquez Lopez with room to shoot, and he does. It'll be kind of bobbled by Martinez, but no one there to follow up for the Gamecocks, and it'll be a save, even if it's not a pretty one for Martinez.
I know that was from kind of far outside the box there, but I would have liked to see at least one Gamecock crash the net there for that exact reason. A rebound, a little mishandle from the goalkeeper. I would just like to see a little rebound goal, a little tap in. That's where the Gamecocks make their money.
Interception in the middle of the field by Nilsson. He'll send it out to Velasquez Lopez, and Revelo Morier will send it a little too short, and it'll be intercepted by Caruso on that left side, but Revelo Morier will do well to try to win the ball back. It'll go out for a throw. That's what we talk about. He's does the dirty work in the midfield, is not afraid to slide. We know that. I mean, obviously one of the games we call it, he was sent off for a terrible challenge. But, I mean, that's what you want. You want the confidence in the midfield from Revelo Morier. Quintanilla will do well to win the ball back on his left side, send it back to Goldsworthy.
And you mentioned the terrible challenge. It indeed was, but I would much rather a player be aggressive and go after the ball rather than shying away or just lunging at it. It wasn't a great penalty, but I didn't hate the attempt. Just be a little smarter next time. That's my only.
In the booth, we were like, oh, it's not that bad of a challenge. And then the refs go to review it, and he's sent off. And then we find out after the game that he had broken the dude's leg.
Yeah, that was a.
Ball into Myring on the right-hand side. Long ball over the top. He's able to send it through into the box. Cutback is not there. Myring doing a little bit of dribbling, but Martinez is able to stick out a palm and grab that ball before I believe it was Kowalski could take a shot. Martinez seems that maybe the Eagles started out hot. They had that chance going through to Lewis, but now seem very much on the back foot as Carolina starts to get things going.
A great reach there from Martinez, the 6'3", 185 goalkeeper from Georgia. That was a goal. If the Gamecock attacker got around him there, he really had to reach for that one. Hope he stretched prior to the game.
Long ball from Martinez to the head of Holmes. Will look to send through Ricky Lewis, but that ball will roll all the way back to Vistier, who's getting some of his first touches on the ball tonight. William Nilsson in possession now. We'll send it out to Kowalski at right mid.
A great goalkeeper battle here tonight. Martinez definitely has, they call him Big Nate. He has 5 shutouts so far this season. That is
Great
now tied for second in program history. And he's also 4th in career for shutouts. And then on the other side of the ball, we got Vistier, we know how good he is. We've seen him all season long playing for the Gamecocks.
Quick throw from C here is cut out by Goldsworthy, looking for Ricky Lewis once more. Ricky Lewis looking to run in behind a lot and unable to do so thus far. I mean, he had that one chance, but denied to take it, basically, as Jonah Begar is in possession at left back. We've seen him play about every position in the back line and even in midfield this season for the Gamecocks. Very important player for them, as Velasquez Lopez will send it back to Cargill, who very versatile player as well, sitting in the heart of midfield for the Gamecocks tonight. Ball now in possession on the far side. Revelo Morier looks to release Myring, but a little bit of a miscommunication there, and it'll go out for a throw.
Almost took out the social media girl. That was
keeping
her awake over there.
Even on the sideline.
Yep.
That's what I like to say. But, you know, as you will. As Holmes will send it back to Caruso. They've got a nice little bond on that left side of the Eagles team. Martinez now in possession. Again, will send a long ball out onto Jonah Begar's side, but Quintanilla will shield it out of play, and Jonah Begar will do one of the things he does best, and that's taking throws for this Gamecock squad. Cargill checking in for a 1-2 with Begar to kind of release him into some space. He will send Velasquez Lopez into some space, who housed the ball just outside of the center circle. We mentioned he just had a shot earlier in this game. Good things happen when you pass to Velasquez Lopez. 4 goals, 5 assists on the season. You expect a goal involvement out of him whenever he touches the ball. Miscommunication once more as Jonah Begar tries to play a full field switch to Kowalski on the other side.
South Carolina really having some trouble connecting with each other here. A couple passes have gone away and gone out of bounds. They've stopped the Georgia Southern attack, which has been a lot better, but now they got to get things going on offense.
Good. Great turn there by the Eagle player, and that is Sarajan. He wins himself a foul for his team. This is about 10, 20 yards outside of the D, just in between the center circle and the box. And we'll see where they spot it.
Felt like a little bit of a late whistle there. He kind of waited until there was a turnover, but who am I to judge?
That's the advantage, Austin.
Who am I to judge?
That's the advantage.
Yeah.
He did his
He was
perfect
double teamed.
He did Well, that's why they took it back.
Well,
It'll be
I don't know ball, I guess.
Harry Dale, the assist leader for the Eagles, playing a quick ball out to the left-hand side to Sarah Jin, who will take on Camden Kowalski, excuse me. Ball into the middle. Holmes gets a strike on it, but it'll bounce off the turf and over the ball. Vestier looked a little bit scared there. Good little bit of interplay between the Eagles there. Sarah Jin wins the ball in the left wing, takes on William Nilsson with a little bit of speed, gets around him. Cross wasn't too good, but Holmes was still able to get a foot on it. Unfortunately, he hit it towards the ground instead of towards the goal first. So
Yeah,
that would be a goal kick for the Gamecocks.
just had too much power going into the ground, too big of a bounce. You mentioned it, Versteer definitely had some wide eyes there as he saw the ball go over his head, but got a little
Long
fortunate.
ball to Ballack will be picked up by Martinez. I mean, we talk about this every broadcast, I feel like, Austin. The long ball just doesn't work, and they seem to employ it more than they should.
And it's interesting, last game of the season, you'd think if they were to use it every game, it'd work by now, but just really hasn't come into form yet.
Yeah.
And maybe they won't use it come postseason play, but we'll see.
Kevin Pierre on the ball for some of his first touches of the game. He's been quiet so far, as ball will be spinning and bouncing for Jonah Bagar. He has to head it up into the air to deal with it, and 2-3 more times now. Wins himself a foul, and he will play it quickly to Goldsworthy as Gamecocks possess it in their own half.
That was a tough play by Bagar. The ball was spinning, going all over the place. He really had to track that one down. Ended up drawing a foul out of it. Good play by number 13 in white.
Shows his level. Been one of their best players this season, as we mentioned, on both sides of the ball, playing basically anywhere on the pitch. Guy's got a third lung, loves to run. Goldsworthy on the ball. We'll send it back out to him with a lot of space. Long ball queued up for Quintanilla, who's making a run on the left-hand side, but it'll go all the way out of play, and the Eagles will receive a goal kick.
Another long ball that just did not connect. And I know there's a little miscommunication there on the sideline. Bagar had that there in the backfield and tried to switch the ball. And I was really hoping they would just set up the possession there.
Yeah.
And then move upfield slowly but surely. But then just giving up a possession like that is not what the Gamecocks
Goal kick
need.
played short. And in the midfield now with Harry Dale. Out to the left-hand side for Caruso with a lot of space. And in space, too, is Harry Dale, who receives the pass in the midfield. Send it back to O'Connor. And back to Harry Dale. 4 assists on the season, as we mentioned. Martinez now back on the ball between the box and the semicircle. Harry Dale picks up the ball and looks to send it forward. Is it pushing into some space now? We'll send it out to the left-hand side for Lewis. Lewis looking to take on Kowalski. Hasn't had much to do defensively so far. Gets around him, but it'll be shielded out of play for a goal kick by William Nilsson. That's what you expect him to do. You don't really want Nilsson out on that right side. You want Kowalski to obviously help back. And Lewis was able to get around Kowalski, but Nilsson there to cut it out, as we mentioned.
Well, you've definitely heard my takes on the game so far, but 14 and a half minutes elapsed into this first half. What do you think so far, Zander?
I just think there's a bit of rust on both squads that they've got to get off. I mean, Gamecocks moving the ball pretty well when they try, but as we mentioned, I'm no coach, but those long balls are not working. And I'd like to see some of the forwards come in and check in, just receive the ball, maybe bounce it back and create some other lanes for players to run into, because looking long ball first, it's a very American, what's it called? Strategy, thank you.
Yeah, and this is unfamiliar territory for Georgia Southern. This is only their 6th road game due to some postponements and cancellations due to weather and stuff like that. They've had 10 at home. Can you blame it on the road atmosphere? Maybe they just haven't had enough road games this season to really feel comfortable under their belt. It's definitely their first one in a while.
It's early for both sides. I think it'll get better as the game goes on. But the Gamecocks are gonna want to string together a few more passes before you go for the bright pass that you see.
Yeah, and South Carolina is known for the home attendance as well.
Nilsson will send a ball in through over the top to Kowalski. Just talking about the long ball, but That one will win them a corner kick. And in the first of the match, you would expect Velasquez Lopez to maybe send an in-swinger in here with his left foot. Looks like it'll be Jonah McGar maybe taking it. And set pieces defensively haven't been good for the Gamecocks, but they do pretty well on the offensive side of the ball. We'll look to get to the head of Andrew Goldsworthy standing just behind Martinez in the net. Short ball comes into Cargill. We'll send it back out to Jonah McGar. Left-footed cross comes in. It is headed away by Pierre. Velasquez Lopez gets the ball at the top of the box. Over to the right-hand side now for Bigar, who will send in another cross with his left foot. He's sent away by Holmes. Bigar in possession again, takes a shot from way outside the box, hits the right post, and Goldsworthy's unable to put it back in. Sliding attempt goes past the ball for Goldsworthy, and now a chance to break for the Eagles as the ball will just miss the foot of Lewis and go out of play. Gamecocks looking better here, Austin.
Man, that was a great opportunity for Bigar. Just an inch to the right off the post, but that was some great pressure. They didn't force anything. They didn't rush anything. They waited until they found the right look, and they got a good strike on goal. Just got to finish it next time.
Yep. Ball out to the right-hand side for Kowalski. Will flip it up to Myron. Great touch. He's just outside the box on the right. Nice little footwork there. Trying to win a corner. It will be cut out, and possession will be with the Eagles. That is Alistair Danjon, who will win himself a foul. Does well defensively there against, you could say, Carolina's best, one of, if not the best, offensive player on their team. As we mentioned, he has 9 goals, 2 assists on the season, so a very important part of the Gamecocks being 12th in the nation in goals per game. It's a big ask tonight, obviously, but
and in those first couple games that South Carolina played before they played those like Clemson's and West Virginia's, those big top 10 matchups, they were playing these smaller teams like Elon and, you know, not to hate on any of them, but like those were warm-up games for sure. And so one of the big question marks was, we saw how good the offense was producing, how well they were doing. They're scoring 3-4 goals a game, but how good was their defense? And that was really what our big question was going into Tony Annan's 3rd season.
Yep. Long ball once again will not fall for the Gamecocks, and Martinez in between the sticks for the Eagles will retain possession just for a minute. We'll pick it up now and send it out wide to Danjon. Caruso will send a long ball looking for Ricky Lewis. He's able to get onto it, but has Goldsworthy on his back. What is he able to do? He will cut back and play the ball to Dale, and now to O'Connor.
Georgia Southern just did a long ball, and it worked. I'm not really sure what South Carolina's issue is.
The broadcaster's curse.
I know. I'm definitely not a coach like you mentioned earlier.
Seher sends a ball into the box for Holmes. Holmes is crossed with his right foot to the top of the box at the spot. Is cut out by Cargill, who we mentioned is playing at that 6th position today, and does well there to cut out that chance for the Eagles.
He was looking for Ricky Lewis there, just a little miscommunication. But Ricky Lewis was the only Blue Eagle in the box there. If I'm Georgia Southern's coach, I want to see a little bit more of an attack there in the box, especially with good chances like that.
We've seen that with both sides tonight. There have been chances, but no one there to follow it up. You would expect them to be there, especially early in this match before they kind of get tired. But that's something I'm sure Tony Annan will be preaching come halftime, as well as Lee Squires as well.
Absolutely, it's very similar to just crashing the glass in basketball. You get a rebound, you get points. Usually the team that out-rebounds you is going to get more points, at least offensively. So
that is how points are.
Kind of the same with soccer. I mean, you just crash the net, you're bound to get a bounce and get a rebound here. It's been raining all day, too, so the grass is definitely going to mess with the direction of the flow of the ball. So you can get a lucky bounce here and take advantage.
Quintanilla will have possession on the left-hand side on his senior night. We'll send it back 1-2 with Bigar. He'll receive it again. He'll pass it back to Goldsworthy. Quintanilla with time and space, moving the ball across the back line, and will end up with William Nilsson. With a lot of time, Georgia Southern kind of letting them move the ball around and playing a kind of compact formation defensively. We see Pierre kind of trailing Velasquez Lopez. Revelo Morier will send a ball out to the right-hand side for Kowalski, who looked to be offside, but they won't call it. And we'll go back to Cargill. Takes his man on with some space. We'll find Velasquez Lopez just a few yards outside the box here now. Urged to shoot. Tries to go around too many people, and it will be cut out by Sarajan. who wins his side a free kick as he kind of got clattered into by two of those Gamecocks trying to run back defensively.
Yeah, Velasquez Lopez just tried to go around too many Eagles there. Just ran into about
Georgia Southern, see if get a long throw and maybe get a head on it. Because, I mean, if you watch the Kentucky game, you'll know what I'm saying, but the defense when it comes to set pieces for this Gamecock squad have not been great. Kentucky scored both of their goals on the same set piece design. And, I mean, they were on the front foot that whole game as the header will be missed by everyone. And Cargill once again cutting it out in the box. We'll send it all the way back out to Caruso in the center circle. We'll find O'Connor.
You said that perfectly. It was missed by everyone there. Defensively, I'd like to see someone get a head on it and get that out, because that's one of those lucky bounces I'm talking about. If Georgia Southern has enough guys in the box, which it looked like they almost did, a lucky bounce could go their way if a couple defensemen miss it.
I mean, all you need is a few bounces in this game.
Absolutely.
We mentioned both teams obviously playing the same competition in the Sun Belt, and both of them have very different things. So just one touch can make or break a game. So as we've seen in college soccer, anybody can win. So Goldsworthy will head the ball out to Jonah McGar, and he'll head it down. And it'll be intercepted by Seher. Ball still bouncing up in the air. Pierre takes it down off the chest, and we'll send it out to Dale and out to Caruso on the left side for the Eagles. O'Connor twisting and turning, trying to evade pressure by Ted Cargill. Will receive the ball off of a 1-2. And make Bialik almost touch earth there with a nice touch, a little bit of footwork. His long ball, though, will not be able to complete the highlight as it'll pass over the head of Sarajan. And Bigar will take a throw.
Yeah, we've seen some fancy footwork from Georgia Southern tonight. They're very quick on their feet. They're quick in changing direction. We've seen them push the issue a couple times as well against Carolina's defense. Definitely something to watch out for, especially getting into the second half. Like when things start to get a little more tiresome, a little foggy mentally, you want to make those mistakes because you're tired. The quickness either wears off or it pays off.
Exactly. Cargill under some pressure from Pierre. We'll send it back to William Nilsson, who will send it back to Vistier, who has no other choice but to boot it long, looking for Myring, but it'll bounce over the back line and all the way back to Martinez, who, I'm sorry, Martinez, I was unfamiliar with your game before. I mentioned how maybe he would be a little bit uncomfortable under pressure, but doing very well on the ball, a very good modern keeper he is. As Pierre will send Lewis through, and he is through. One touch, takes a shot, and it'll be saved by Vistier for his third of the game.
Wow.
I mean, Ricky Lewis, how many more chances are you going to have? As Myring is through now, we'll try to chip the goalkeeper. It'll be try to be cleared off the line, but it'll fall into the net. Gamecocks turn defense into offense. That was like a basketball game.
Oh my gosh, what great transition from the Gamecocks. Started down here with Philip Vistier. What an amazing save on Ricky Lewis. He was wide open on the breakaway. An absolutely massive save. Right back the other way. A goal for the Gamecocks. It could have been a holding penalty as well, but he fought through it. Bounced off of Nate Martinez, who almost made another great save defensively, but the Gamecocks are up 1-0.
Incredible finish from Harrison Myring, kind of just taking a touch off the chest and trying to loop it over the goalkeeper, Ends up bouncing too high for the leg of Holstrom, who tries to clear it, similar to that of Kyle Walker in the FA Cup final a few years ago, but is unable to do so, and that will find the back of the net. And Myring is into double figures now for goals this season. We
were talking at the beginning of the year, just a little bit of a friendly rivalry between Bialik and Myring. Myring now has that lead 10-9, as we've got an injured Georgia Southern Eagle in the goal, so we're going to check on him.
It'll be Holstrom who tried to clear the ball. But that looked much, much better for the Gamecocks.
Absolutely.
I mean, defensively looked a little shaky, especially with Lewis is using that speed to get in behind and is receiving that pass a couple times this game. Tried to open up his body and kind of bend it around Vistier, but Vistier made himself big, as you're supposed to do as a goalkeeper, and kept his squad in the game. And eventually that ball makes it all the way across the field, that long ball finally falling for the Gamecocks, and Myring is able to take a touch and chip the keeper. Beautiful finish, as we all know he's capable of. 10th goal of the season. I mean, that's what you want from your striker.
I mean, that was probably the quickest transition I've ever seen in a soccer game. I watch a lot of very fast-paced sports like basketball, like hockey, like lacrosse, where it happens just like that. That was the fastest I've seen in soccer. That was really well done by the Gamecocks. It was cleared out by, I couldn't tell who that was back here defensively getting that out.
No, I couldn't.
Off the save of this
Could
year.
have very well been Jonah Begar.
I'm thinking it's Begar too. Great play by him, just getting it up. Normally, we're not a fan of the long ball, but when you're in trouble like that, I guess it works now. Like, they can't. They're going to tell us to shut up because they are now at 1-0 after a long ball and in transition. So good for the Gamecocks to get on the board first.
Gamecocks take the lead with exactly 21 minutes left on the clock here at senior night. Election day also a lot to play for these guys, as Holmes will kick us off again, or a little bit of a delay here, making sure that Holstrom is okay after that attempted goal line clearance.
Yeah, clock is stopped at 21 minutes to go in the first half exactly. Holmes runs back onto the pitch. We're ready to go again here.
Holmes will kick us off all the way to Pierre in the heart of midfield for this Georgia Southern team, as get great attendance here at Eugene East Stone Stadium tonight for senior night. I mean, we see some of the players' families in attendance, which is lovely to see, but a lot of fans as well coming out for the final game of the regular season, rooting on the Gamecocks.
Yeah, I mentioned the home and away advantage. South Carolina led the nation last season in attendance, right around 4,300 for the second straight season. So they're looking to do it again this season, and I have no doubt in my mind that they will, because every single game produces so many fans, so many opportunities to get tickets for the student account.
Holstrom will go down once more, as Toby Neville will start warming up for the Eagles. Yeah, Holstrom sends the ball out of play, just to give himself some time to recover.
Yeah, he's
definitely going to come off, I think.
I was about to say he's clearly banged up. Definitely not something you want to see, but he put his body on the line to try and make that save down there on the Myring goal. I couldn't tell exactly what happened or what hurt him. It looks like he's attending to his lower body.
Toby Neville getting ready to come on, the sophomore from England, 2 assists on the season. So definitely not a downgrade by any means, and even has some professional experience playing at Exeter City's academy in England. I mean, they're currently in League One, 3rd division, but that's still professional. So
absolutely,
definitely a higher level that he is able to bring for this squad. Not a downgrade, as I mentioned. So
yeah,
good depth on both sides of the ball.
You just mentioned the depth and how it's not a downgrade skill-wise. It's also not a downgrade speed-wise. I was talking about how quick this Georgia Southern team is and how quick they can move with the ball. I mean, just watching him run onto the pitch there, you saw the speed and how quickly he can turn it up. So definitely not a drop-off by any means.
No. It's interested to see if Carolina will just throw the ball back out of respect, or if they'll try to attack with this, and they will throw it back to Martinez. Fair play. It's going in top 10 respect moments after this one, as the Eagles will have possession with Caruso cutting inside and sending the ball to Holmes in the heart of the field. Lewis is able to communication. We'll see that ball be won in possession by Myring, the goal scorer tonight.
I know I sound broken saying long ball like 100 times in the first 20 minutes of the game, but it really looks like Georgia Southern is starting to find something there. They're sending Ricky Lewis up. He's got the speed to get around the Gamecock defense, and they're back 4. They might keep playing that ball, and they might keep trying to catch the defense.
Two chances, obviously, none of them being taken by Ricky Lewis, but I mean, if he's able to run in behind, he's definitely got a chance, just unable to put one away tonight so far.
Yeah, he had that one opportunity on the breakaway where the steer made the phenomenal save that we've talked about a couple times already. A highlight reel goal all around, and a great team goal from the Gamecocks. But no doubt in my mind that Ricky Lewis will get more chances tonight.
It's definitely going to pump that team up, too.
Absolutely.
As we mentioned, trying to get back to winning ways after 4-0 loss to UCF last time out. What started as a pretty promising season. I mean, they started undefeated for almost half this season and then started to lose some of those games when we got to conference play. But, I mean, definitely a great squad, as we mentioned. As Revelin Morier's boot comes off after that challenge that saw him win a foul for his team.
Yeah, I mentioned it in the intros how big of a game this is for both these teams. South Carolina, we're not the committee. We don't decide who makes it into the College Cup tournament. But to be competitive, you just got to have wins.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of big-time resume-building matches, whether that's a tie against number 1 Clemson at the time, a close game against a couple top 10 teams here and there, and then some wins. They've got 9 wins on the season. This is the best record they've had under Tony Annan, so they definitely have a lot to be proud of this season, but you want that final push, and that's why tonight's such a big night to get a few points back and get into double digits in wins. That's very impressive.
True. Goldsworthy will send the ball out to Bigar on the left-hand side with lots of space, as we mentioned. Kind of the Eagles taking a kind of passive approach to pressing as Holmes wins the ball here and is unable to do anything with it. Revan Lemoria will win the ball back. Quintanilla now with the ball in the half space on the left side. We'll send it into Velasquez Lopez, who does a little bit of trickery to get around his player, but it'll be cut out by Sarajin, who's now on the run on the right wing. 3 Gamecocks around him. And it'll be sent out of play for a throw-in off of the foot of Jack Burgess, who is now in, who was also honored tonight for senior night. Of course, spending 2 seasons at Boston College before coming to the Gamecocks and being a very important part of their squad depth. As Seher will send the ball all the way to the other side to his fellow fullback, who sends a ball in to the top. Header on from the substitute, which is number 6. That is, excuse me. We just talked about him. Toby Neville, excuse me, from, of course, Exeter City's academy.
Steer with another good play there, coming up, attacking the ball and making sure no one else got a touch on it inside the box.
Holmes now sending a ball, looking once more for Ricky Lewis, who's had a lot of running to do to create for this Georgia Southern side tonight.
He's definitely fast, like we've talked about a couple times, but we'll have to see if his endurance can stay up because he's running more than some track athletes out there right now.
Yeah. Bigar in possession again. I feel like he's had a lot of the ball tonight. Does a nice little move there to get around Holmes. Long ball coming out to the right-hand side is a good one this time to Kowalski, all the way just outside the box now on the right side.
That was beautiful from Bigar.
Look to tee up across, but we'll send it back to Burgess, I think. Yes, that looks to be him. And it'll be possession with O'Connor and to Dale. We'll look to play a 1-2 with Lewis, but that ball will bounce all the way back to the back line of the Eagles. Now with Seher and to Sarajin on the right side of their squad. Toby Neville at center back, of course, coming on for the injured Holstrom. Sends the ball out to his partner in crime, Dan John. Caruso sends the ball into O'Connor into the midfield. And we'll send another ball looking for the foot of Ricky Lewis. And Revan Lemoria will win that one for the Gamecocks. Possession lies at the back line of the Gamecocks now. Kind of just moving the ball around. They have the lead now, so a little bit of less urgency for this team.
Definitely nice to play from a lead. Kind of saw how rusty they were at the beginning, maybe a little restless because they know how important this game is. But to get that first goal and to strike first and play from that lead is definitely important. They obviously want to add a couple to have a cushion because Georgia Southern is not going to stop coming at them. But a 1-0 lead is better than a tie ball game.
True. 2/3 of the way through this first half now as we get closer to the 15-minute mark. Ballack with some play with Revan Lemoria there. Ballack not touched the ball a whole lot this game, but he's an attacker. You want to be on the finishing end of those plays as Velasquez Lopez will send a Travella pass into the middle of the field for Ballack, who will send a Quintanilla through, but it'll be cut out by Seher and kicked out of play. Good, great bit of defense there for Seher. Was able to get his body in front of the ball and see that one out. Ballack shielding the ball now will win a throw for the Gamecocks. Bigar on the throw into Velasquez Lopez. Bigar with some space now will send it back to, a nice nutmeg from Velasquez Lopez to win his side, a foul in between the center circle and the 18.
Yeah, Kevin Pierre was the one he nutmegged there, got a little beat and got a little too aggressive, stepped out in front of him, and and Velasquez Lopez was able to hit the turf, get tripped up, and get this free kick.
There's no need for the foul there from Kevin Pierre. Had many people behind him to help with a heavy touch. But nonetheless, ball comes in from Jonah Bigar, and it'll be caught by Martinez. Not by any means a very tall goalkeeper, but still able to command the ball in the air. Ball out with Sarajin on the right wing, looking to take on Bigar, trying to get back in position. Quintanilla now with an important touch that will see the ball go up the field to Velasquez Lopez.
Great job by Quintanilla there. He didn't lunge, he didn't move out of
Step
the way.
overs from Velasquez Lopez. Ball over the top into Meyering. In the box now is Meyering. Unable to get into a shooting position, will send the ball out to the top of the box for Velasquez Lopez once more. Velasquez Lopez tees up a shot, saved by Martinez.
Not a horrible idea from Velasquez Lopez there. Just a little too far out. That was a little too easy to read for Nate Martinez in goal.
Yep, trying to find that far top corner, that right side of Martinez's net. Unable to do so. Martinez, although, you know, conceding that one goal over the top from Meyering, has looked pretty solid in net, has a few saves. Obviously came into the game a little bit nervous, bobbled his first save, but has looked like a very safe pair of hands for the Eagles since then.
I was just about to say, since that bobble, he has made some big-time saves. Almost made that one in transition when Meyering put it right off his chest or his shoulder, and just a fortunate bounce for the Gamecocks, but he's playing great tonight.
Kowalski and Ballack will link up on the right side as Ballack moves into the middle of the field. Nothing there. We'll keep the ball for a little bit. We'll send it out to Velasquez Lopez, who's got a man on his back. He is forced to go backwards to Jonah Bigar. 1-2 between Bigar and Revelo Morier. Morier sends a ball all the way out to the right-hand side for Kowalski, who has time and space. See if he can get a cross in. Trying to take on Caruso here. Is unable to do so. Kind of killed the momentum there and tries to win his side a throw off of the foot of Caruso, but fouls Caruso in doing so. That's a lot of so's. Would be a throw for them.
Ended up amounting to nothing, but that was really beautiful ball work for the Gamecocks. I love the 1-2 give and go, quick ball movement. I don't love when guys are just kind of holding on to the ball, dribbling around. The quicker you move the ball moves faster than anybody on this field. So if you move the ball quick, you're going to find holes in the defense, and they almost did right there. And I think Tony Annan's going to point that out at halftime. He's just going to be like, continue to move the ball quick. But, again, don't force anything. Don't rush anything. Don't get too amped up. Just stay cool, calm, and collected. But I do like the quick ball movement.
O'Connor, Dale, and Lewis coming off for the Eagles as A.J. Parma, Zachary Martin, and Matthew Dean will come on for the Eagles. A.J. Parma, a member of the Atlanta United Academy in 2019 when they were at the top of their game in the MLS with players coming out like Josef Martinez and Miguel Almiron, who have enjoyed success at their times after Atlanta United. Looking to do the same is Parma. As Ballack will size him up there.
Tony Annan and his coaching staff have definitely spent some time in the organization, especially in the development programs.
Burgess with a beautiful curving ball out to the right-hand side for Kowalski. Excuse me, that's Ted Gargill. Beats his man into the box, sends a ball in, and it'll be out of play before he gets a cross off. Once again, another opportunity that the Gamecocks are unable to capitalize on, as there weren't a lot of people open in that 6 area where that cross fizzed across. And on the ground now is Cargill.
He must have fallen a little awkwardly there. I was trying to watch the replay.
That might
and see
be
why
Meyering,
he was down.
excuse me. Clock will stop here as the medical team will rush on out to make sure he's okay. Obviously honored tonight being a part of those 7 seniors for the Gamecocks. Got a goal tonight already as well. Not a bad night for him.
De La Grazia puts on his jersey, number 20 in white. He's prepared to check in.
Not a lot of minutes for him this season, so he'll look to make an impact with these minutes he's going to receive, as it looks like he'll come on for the injured Meyering.
Yeah, he was just looking at the iPad, looking at a couple different film with the assistant coaches, and then Tony Annan was just in his ear, so he looks ready to go. He's running onto the pitch now.
I mean, it speaks to the depth of, as we were saying, both these squads where you can have a young, promising player like Della Grazia coming on for your top goal scorer this season in Meyering. I mean, it's very great to have depth. Excuse me. We say that all the time when we're together commentating hockey.
Absolutely.
So obviously you can't make as many substitutions in soccer, but it's still good to have those players on the bench ready to make an impact.
And we talked about how young this team is. We've mentioned it a couple times during the season. It's good to get these guys minutes too. So Della Grazia getting on the field is great for the freshman from New Jersey.
True. Play will restart off of a goal kick that I think, yep, goal kick as that ball came out of play. Meyering walking off on his own accord here to applause from everyone in the stands. Not only is it senior night for him, but he also scored the goal, so applause is very much deserved for him.
And he's captain, so a lot of eyes are on him every time he takes the pitch. So glad to see he's up and moving. A little bit of a limp on him, but he looks to be okay.
Yep. Matthew Dean will foul Revan Lamorier as his first bit of action in this game coming on for O'Connor. See if a set piece can be devised here from Velasquez Lopez to maybe double the lead for the Gamecocks going into halftime. Under 10 minutes to go now in this first half. Velasquez Lopez puts his hand up and sends a ball into the box, out to the back post. It won't fall to any Gamecocks. It will go out of play for a throw-in just about 5 yards to the right of the corner flag. And Goldsworthy will look to be the one to take it. Usually he's the one you want in the box on these set pieces to get a head on it. But can't sleep on William Nilsson either, scoring a header against ODU in the last win. Della Grazia, first touch of the game, will go out of play for a goal kick. A lot of goal kicks for the Eagles tonight. As we mentioned, Martinez has done very well distributing the ball and proving why he's a perfect example of the modern keeper. You look at all the best teams in the world, their goalkeeper is able to play the ball, and proving why it's an important aspect of the game for the goalkeeper, not only to be able to use his hands, but his feet as well. Throw in from Sarajin will be cut out by Goldsworthy, and Revan Lamorier will be able to get a counter started for the Gamecocks. Passes out to Ballack. Dean able to steal the ball, though, and stop any momentum for the Gamecocks as he'll send it back into Kevin Pierre. Donjan will send it all the way back out to the right-hand side with Seher. Sarajin with a nice bit of play to get around what seemed to have been 5 Gamecocks. Still on the ball now. Revan Lamorier with a tackle. Holmes with a shot will fizz to the right of the net. I was interested to see if they were called a foul there as Sarajin did go down, but it'll be a goal kick for the Gamecocks. Not a lot of danger in these last few minutes since Lewis has come off. I feel like it's a different dynamic with him off of the pitch as Holmes is pushing farther up the pitch. He was kind of playing behind Lewis before, but now he seems to be leading the line, and not a lot of danger coming out of their attacks since the goal for Carolina.
Yeah, definitely a new strategy, a new game plan for sure. Very, very interested that they didn't call that a foul, and I'm kind of glad they didn't as a South Carolina broadcaster, just because we've talked about how South Carolina gets beaten with those set pieces, and that was right at the top of the box. So South Carolina's got to be a little more careful there and not make any mental errors like that.
No, absolutely. Revan Lamorier receives the ball and will play it out to Jonah McGar, who's able to find Quintanilla on the left wing, who tries to take a touch around the defender, but it will have gone out of play before he's able to do so. Oh. Thinking maybe there was a foul, but it seems to be a throw. Yeah, it'll be a throw for the Gamecocks. Actually, no, excuse me. It's a free kick.
It's that advantage. Yeah. That was a long advantage, though, right? Like, it throws me off.
Yeah, I don't know. The ball in a very different spot from where it was leading up to this free kick. But, I mean, I guess Gamecocks won't complain. Begar looking to try to tee up a long ball, it looked like, but he'll send it back as pressure comes. Goldsworthy will send a ball across field to Velasquez Lopez on the left wing. Ball comes into the middle of the field that was Ethan Ballack. He's unable to get a touch on it, and it will bounce into the hands of Martinez. ball now is, like we mentioned, number 4, A.J. Parma, getting some of his first touches tonight. Holmes dropping deep, as we mentioned earlier in this game, to Kevin Pierre. Will send a ball out to the left wing for Dean. Very different strategies for both teams when it comes to pressing. Gamecocks really wanting to get at the players when they take a bad touch. Georgia Southern kind of laying back a little bit. They know their place in this game, that the Gamecocks are going to want to attack, so they're trying to keep a pretty low block when the Gamecocks are in possession. But right now, possession lies with the Eagles, as Don John will send it into the middle for A.J. Parma. Excuse me. Sarajin will take a touch around Jonah Bagar and have room for a cross on this right-hand side. Right-footed cross comes in, and it'll come off the leg of Sonny Quintanilla, and it'll be a first, I believe the first corner tonight for Georgia Southern. And as we mentioned, Austin, Gamecocks not a great defensive team when it comes to defending these set pieces, especially corners. They conceded 2 against Kentucky. We'll see if they can keep this one out. Likely, if I were a betting man, I would say that this cross comes off the head of Andrew Goldsworthy out of the box, just because of all of the great defensive work he does. But you never know. I mean, Georgia Southern looking to draw something up here.
Yeah, they got a little lucky there with Sarujin slipping along the sideline. He had his man beat down the right sideline, so very lucky that he slipped.
Ball comes in from Caruso. Header out by a Gamecock. I wasn't sure who. And that is just terrible. That is just terrible from number 5.
Nilsson got the header for the Gamecocks, got it out of there. Got it out just enough, and
Fell to
had a little magic touch on
like
that ball, because that
40
thing
or
went
50
into
yards
orbit.
out. Tried his hand at a half volley there, and it'll go into the shrubbery behind Eugene Stowe Stadium.
I mean, I was looking down, and I saw how far that ball went into the trees. So, and then I heard your call. I was like, I didn't even need to look
shoot or
up,
shoot.
but shoot or shoot. Good for them. But
Even center backs.
Hey, I like the attempt. I like the aggressiveness, especially late in the half like that. They want to go into the half tied rather than down 1.
I'm not going to lie. I'm doing the same exact thing there. Ball's
No,
bouncing
100%,
there.
100%.
I'm hitting it.
And I have done that same thing. I have sent it into orbit. I have totally missed the net that bad before, so I don't hate the idea at all. But a good defensive stand there, like we were just talking about, not giving up anything inside the box. Nilsson getting his head on that first.
Be a free kick as Ballack was fouled, and it'll lie in the defensive half for the Gamecocks, who, I mean, the first 5 minutes, it didn't seem to come out of this side of the pitch. But, I mean, as we know, the Gamecocks are up 1-0. 2:52 to go. They'll try to look to hold on to this lead going into halftime, where they'll get a pretty inspired speech by Tony Annan, I think, for senior night. Velazquez Lopez sending it back to Goldsworthy, captain on the night for senior night, as we mentioned. We'll send it out all the way to the right-hand side with William Nilsson, as we mentioned, got the header away on that corner kick. Goldsworthy sending it out to the left side now with Jonah Bagar, who's had a lot to do tonight. His ball will be intercepted by Caruso, and Pierre will be on the ball in the middle of the field. Send it in to Holmes. Holmes looking to send somebody through, and it will be Kevin Pierre, who has time and space in the box. Cross comes in for number 9. He's unable to get a touch on it, and Nilsson will cut that one out, and Gamecocks look to get the ball up the field because they've got a lot of players back.
Little shocked Pierre made that pass there. I don't hate the idea, but he was looking right at him.
Oh, dangerous
no.
pass. Sarajin slips once more over the ball. Luckily, Bigar is able to send it out to Velazquez Lopez. I mean, we mentioned how the Eagles didn't look too threatening after this goal, but now they're starting to string some stuff together, really force Carolina back into their own half. And now they've just won a goal kick. Looking better as these last moments of the first half come in. They're going to want to hope to get it started a little bit quicker in the second half, though, as they've looked really good in this last few 2 minutes.
I'm definitely a believer in the first 5 and the last 5 in a half. If you score a goal in the first 5 minutes, you suck the life right out of the team. And when everyone's kind of just jogging, trying to get off the field, get to halftime, if you can get one in these final 5 minutes and go into the half tied versus down 1, that's going to be huge for Georgia Southern. They're throwing everything they got at South Carolina right now. South Carolina responding okay. I would like to see them hold this ball for the final 55 seconds here.
would have been it was Zachary Martin that the cross was coming into from Kevin Pierre. Martin, 2 goals, 1 assist on the season, so definitely an important player for them. You would have think that if the cross were a little bit better, he'd be able to get a foot on it and maybe get it on target.
And even after the cross, like once the cross came in, good defensive play by the Gamecocks, but the ball still bounced to him, Zachary Martin, that is, and he just happened to slip. It did rain most of the day here today, so it's definitely a slippery field out there, but we've seen Georgia Southern lose their footing a couple times.
Less than 30 seconds left here in this first half. And just as you said, Lawson, they kept possession in their back line for this last minute, not giving Eagles any chances to get any shots off.
Yeah, and Georgia Southern started attacking them, trying to get a turnover here, but
no buzzer beater for the Gamecocks as the ball will bounce to Nick Martinez, and that'll do it for the first half. Austin, before we send the lovely audience off to halftime, I'm interested to hear your thoughts on both sides for the Gamecocks tonight.
we've definitely seen Carolina play better in previous games. I think they're just miscommunicating a little bit tonight. They're not connecting as well as they usually do. The long balls are just, we've already said it. I sound like a broken record. I get it. But it's just not working as much as they think it should be. But it's also the interior stuff, too. Everything in the middle of the field is doing okay, but it's not connecting as much as it should. The quick ball movement is something I really like. I touched on that in the first half.
It looks like a great side when they do look short instead of long.
Absolutely.
They're very capable players. They're able to play possession. I just think a lot of the time they get excited. That happens in a lot of the teams that I play for. Is we get a few passes strung together, and then we think we have to go long, go straight to the target. But some of the greatest teams in the world play possession, and they don't necessarily look forward first. But yeah, Gamecocks up 1-0, courtesy of a goal from the senior night, Harrison Myring. We'll see you in about 15 to 20 minutes for the second half. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Stone Stadium, where the Gamecocks are up 1-0 against the Georgia Southern Eagles. Been a great, pretty close first half, and we're delighted to have you with us. I'm Zander Collins. This is Austin McConnell. Very grateful to have you guys here for coverage through SGTV of this game. We talked a little bit before halftime about what needs to happen to ensure results for both sides, but Austin, going on the other side of the field, what is it that Georgia Southern has to do?
Just
Get back in this one.
keep being aggressive. They've done a great job of pressing the South Carolina defense, making them kind of force some errors on offense and defense. So I think if you're Georgia Southern, you keep attacking, you keep going at Vistier. We saw the lucky bounce with Myring. He made a phenomenal play, had a great shot. Lucky bounce kind of off the chest, though. Georgia Southern definitely saw that in the locker room during halftime. It was like, we can do that too. If they can play the long ball and bounce it off their goalie, we can absolutely do that too. And get more guys in the box. I touch on it, I feel like every game, every half now. Get guys in the box, crash the net, get the rebounds. And that goes for both teams. Both teams have not had many guys in the box. I just want to see rebounds and follow-up chances for both squads.
Well, the way that we were calling the game, you would have thought that Georgia Southern was on the back foot offensively, but actually have the same amount of shots on target as the Gamecocks. I mean, obviously some of those early chances coming in the beginning with Ricky Lewis unable to put one away, but they actually have more shots in total than the Gamecocks, even if one of those is the one that entered space off that corner kick. But both sides have the same amount of corner kicks as well. Both sides creating pretty similar chances. Gamecocks just able to capitalize so far.
You just mentioned it. It has been entirely even. Possession total 56% to 44%. That's usually a big swing at these games that we do. It's usually Gamecock
Jonah
heavily
flipping
favored.
it into the air here. Ballack will kind of flick it back all the way up into the air for Jonah McGar, who does well to handle it. Velasquez Lopez will find Jack Burgess in the middle, and he'll send it back out to Velasquez Lopez. Early cross comes in, looking for Shahi at the back post. He's unable to get a foot on it. It'll be a goal kick for Nick Martinez and his squad. As we were saying, Austin, sorry.
No, you're good. I like how the attack was forming there. I like how Carolina went after him. Just 45 seconds into this half. I said it right before the halftime that
first five,
last five, exactly. So getting out and getting early and playing from a one-goal lead is almost as nerve-wracking, if not as nerve-wracking, as a tie game. So getting a one-goal cushion would be huge for the Gamecocks.
Ricky Lewis now back on the field for the Eagles. Already being sent down the field as that ball is a little bit too far for him from Sargent, but it'll be possession with Vistier in his own 6.
I just mentioned how I like the Gamecocks attacking Georgia Southern early, but I also like to see this. Take time, settle down, don't make those errors you made in the first half. If you set up your offense, if you set up the attack, especially from the back line, it's going to work so much better.
Yes. In possession is Goldsworthy in his own box. This half, the Gamecocks going left to right, and right to left are going the Eagles. Vistier will send it out to William Nilsson at right center back tonight in possession. Vistier with a little bit of a weaker pass to Goldsworthy, and Goldsworthy will win a foul as number 7, that is Ryan Holmes, as we mentioned. Super important player for the Eagles. 10 goals and 4 assists on the season. Their top goal contributor as he fouls Goldsworthy there. But
yeah, he has the most goals by an Eagle since 2018 when Javier Carbonell struck 15. So
I remember when he scored that 15th that night. I'm just kidding.
I was like, really? Oh, wow.
No.
Like, that's some impressive ball knowledge.
I don't even remember his name after you just said it. So there'll be a yellow card here.
Yeah, back here.
I don't know who he gave it to.
Holmes, it looks like, as we were just talking about, the announcer curse. Looks like Revan Lamorier was kind of down going around.
Joe O'Connor.
Oh, it's on O'Connor.
The yellow. Freshman from England. 4 goal contributions this season, 2 in each category. In the heart of midfield for the Eagles. Goldsworthy is going to take this free kick as we're looking to get the clock running again. Here it is, long ball coming into Martin Yahya. His header on will reach the head of Kowalski, who's unable to get a shot off though, as Caruso will send it out, but only as far as Velasquez Lopez, who now retains possession in midfield. on the half of Georgia Southern. Revelo Morier jogging around, but that would be Jack Burgess on the ball, looking to get involved early in the second half. Pass from Goldworthy is intercepted, and now with some room to run is Ricky Lewis, hoping to make right from his wrongs earlier. Shot comes in, another save from Vestier, and O'Connor at the top of the box now with the ball. Shot comes in just wide from Sarajin at that left corner of the box. It'll be a goal kick for the Gamecocks, but this is exactly what you're talking about, Austin. You want these teams to come out and attack early, because I mean that really sets the tone for the rest of the game. Eagles doing that just now off of a poor pass from Goldsworthy, and that's where Ricky Lewis is so dangerous, when he's starting to run at your defense.
Yep.
Drop of the shoulder, he's around you because he's so fast.
So quick, and especially with a defense that has so many question marks behind them, just getting 2 good looks there and putting them on their heels is going to be very important for Georgia Southern this second half. We're not even 4 minutes into the, well, we are actually just now 4 minutes into the second half, and they've already had 2-3 good looks. Vestier with a big save and then one going just wide. So Gamecocks need to figure something out defensively.
The dreaded long ball coming in is cut out, but it will fall to Yahya, as Balak has possession now and will be fouled in between the center circle and the D. Good opportunity for a set piece here. See if Carolina can work something in. But we talk about it every 5 minutes, the long ball that just is unable to fall.
We got to find another word for it, like a little code word or something.
The long pass.
Yeah, there we go, a little different. Give our listeners a break, but.
Yeah. Revelo Morier will send a beautiful pass in through the defense, but Cam Kowalski will be unable to run onto it. Kind of hit a deflection off of the defender. I know it will be a goal kick. It looked like it took a little bit of a weird bounce off of the very wet grass here at Stone Stadium.
Yeah, I really like that idea from the Gamecock midfielder. Kowalski just a step behind it. I'm pretty sure Kowalski didn't even expect it to get through the back line like that. It was
well, as we've seen with both teams, like even with crosses coming in, there haven't been a lot of people making the runs into the box to finish them.
Exactly.
So that's something I'm sure both of the coaches, Squires and Annan, will have talked to their teams about. Because you never really, when you're playing, you never really want to be standing in a still position. You always want to be on your toes, being able to run into the space where the ball could find itself. So I'm sure it'll be different this half.
Absolutely. Yahya just got a yellow card
On his tackle on O'Connor. It'll be
That's another thing. You don't want to mentally make mistakes and get into these
great turn from O'Connor there.
These mental errors, getting these bad tackles, getting these yellow cards late in the second half.
Slip from Neville will find Balak with the ball on the left-hand side for the Gamecocks. He kind of slows play down and will send it back out to the left wing for Sonny Quintanilla. We'll send it back to Jonah Bagar. But, I mean, we've seen even players as many as 3 times slip on this wet grass. I saw Sarajin fall 3 different times while pressing the defenders of the Gamecocks. It's definitely slippery out here, and that one almost proved costly. Unfortunately, Balak unable to get a chance out of that one, but possession will lie in the half of the Eagles with Velazquez Lopez with a lot of time and space. I mentioned to you guys in the first half that kind of different defensive strategies for each team. Georgia Southern kind of sitting back a little bit deeper and letting Carolina do the work. Kowalski now with the ball in the box, trying to take on his defender, Caruso. That is, he'll want that cross back. That one not even close to either the middle of the pitch or the goal. It'll just go straight out of play behind Martinez's goal.
I really liked Kowalski there. I was kind of watching him for about 5-10 seconds, maybe even 15 seconds, as the ball was on the other side of the field. He was moving a lot more than he was there before that. Other than, I should say, that through ball where he was a little caught off guard. He was moving around, making cuts, and he almost got a great play there.
As Balak will receive a talking to here after kicking the ball into the goal off of a whistle there. Just kind of wasting a little bit of time there. A little bit of the dark arts. We love to see it in the sport. It's definitely a big part of the game.
He was just trying to tie Myring back up. Myring took the lead over their friendly competition, I'm sure, tonight, 10-9 with that early goal.
Of course, Myring scoring in the 24th to get his 10th of the season and put his name on this game in a very special night for 7 of these guys, as it is senior night.
And with Myring out with a little bit of a limb injury, I think he's okay, but he's probably not coming back for the rest of the game. they're going to be looking to Ballack to get that second goal, get
interception.
that cushion goal in the second half.
Nice interception from Martin Giahia, but here he will be fouled before play can go on. I mean, I doubt we see Meyering in the second half of this game, especially going into in 5 days from now. We've got the Sun Belt Conference tournament. So, and as we mentioned, the Gamecocks will want to stay in the top half of the table in order to, get a home field advantage in the tournament. So I think that's how it works. Ruling pending, but definitely a lot to play for here tonight.
Yeah, get that momentum going into the conference tournament too, because we see
They
teams
definitely need it.
We see teams in like a bunch of sports: basketball, soccer, even tennis. South Carolina has a great tennis
NC
team.
State rode that all the way to the Final Four
Absolutely.
after winning the ACC tournament in
They
basketball.
were 11th in the ACC, won the tournament. They just kept winning. Momentum is real. If you can find a way to just keep winning, which this team has shown they can do, they can be undefeated this year. They have been the first half of the season. So if they could just find ways to keep winning and ride that momentum, it could go a long way.
I wonder where DJ Burns is now. Ballack now in the box with the ball. We'll send it out to Yeeha, and it will not be played forward, but it will come back to Revelin Morier, who will send it out to the left-hand side for Quintanilla, who tees up across. A good one, bouncing off the head of Kowalski, and it will now be Ballack on the right-hand side for the Gamecocks. Pushing into the middle of the field, trying to unleash a shot with his left foot, and it'll just barely go over the bar. Gamecocks looking dangerous, starting to string some passes together, as we mentioned, as a key to the second half, and starting to really work for them.
I mean, that missed by just a couple feet. Ethan Ballack with a beautiful crossover, and then a shot from the left foot. That, like I was just saying, they're going to look for him for this offensive output here in the second half.
Another poor pass almost puts the Eagles in danger, but they're able to kick it up the pitch, and Quintanilla will head it. And a little bit of pinball here up in the air. 3 headers in a row, but it'll be Velasquez Lopez sending the ball back to Jonah Begar and into the midfield with Revelin Morier. Does a nice turn, looking to unleash Martin Chiaja, but it'll be cut out, and it'll be, is it Holstrom? Is sending Ricky Lewis all by himself. Donjon, excuse me.
Yeah.
Ricky Lewis unable to keep that ball in play, and it'll be a goal kick for Vistier.
Yeah, great play by Alistair Donjon there. That looked like another offensive possession coming for the Gamecocks. He stepped up and fully committed to attacking that ball, stole it from the Gamecocks, and almost gave Ricky Lewis a great opportunity down at the other end.
It's been a very, very close game. Both teams have had a few really good chances. Both teams should, I think, have scored a couple by now.
And we like to talk about how great the offenses are playing, but the defense has been phenomenal for both sides as well.
No doubt.
A few mistakes here and there, a few mental errors, a few holes in the gaps, but there's one where they can't get it out of their own zone, giving Georgia Southern a free offensive
Quick restart
possession.
off the throw here. We'll find Connor O'Connor with the ball. We'll send it across to Kevin Pierre. He's looked impressive in the first half. Seahurst sends in a ball for a cross, and it'll be headed away. Shot comes back in from Sarajan off of the half bounce there, half volley. And as we mentioned, these offensive, like the offenses of these teams looking really sharp here in this first 10, 11 minutes of this second half. Even when you were just talking about the strength of these defenses, they are still giving up these chances, and that's one that Sarajan will want to have back, maybe take a touch and try to loop it into the far corner instead of just hitting it with power.
You look to get a little too excited. And that's what I was saying about the Gamecocks, but it also goes for Georgia Southern. Even though you're down 1, you don't need to throw the kitchen sink at them immediately. Keep calm, like keep your composure, and make the smart right play. Maybe take that extra touch.
Pierre is going to be fouled by Ballack, who tried to use his body to kind of keep Pierre away from the ball, but it'll come at the cost of a foul in between the center circle and the D for the Eagles of Georgia Southern. It'll be Harry Dale taking the free kick for them. As we mentioned, he's got 4 assists on the season. He's going to look to get a 5th here. Ball starting to roll a little bit by itself. Ref telling him to move it back. He's going to send this one in with his right foot. Actually, across the field now to Sarajan on the left wing now, looking to take on Kowalski, and does. Gets around him. Right-footed cross comes in on the ground, looking for Holmes, but it'll be cut out by Goldsworthy, who looks to have been stepped on in that process. But another goal kick, a lot of goal kicks in this game thus far.
Yeah, but you see the tide starting to shift a little bit. The first 5 minutes was down here in Georgia Southern's half. They survived that. And now they're starting to creep down here. They keep giving these possessions to South Carolina and these goal kicks. But South Carolina hasn't really been able to clear their side of the field yet.
Dangerous pass from Vestier will find Burgess. Long ball out to the left wing for Quintanilla will not be found.
Ooh.
Nick Martinez releasing Donjon. Pierre now with some space in the left side of that pivot, or the right side of that pivot, excuse me. We'll find Caruso. And now Holmes, their top scorer on the ball on the left wing. He's been all over the place. I like to see his heat map. Generally a forward, but has been dropping deep to receive the pass. As Caruso is on the left wing now, and he'll send it into that half space for Holmes. And it'll be intercepted and out of play by Martin Chia. O'Connor quickly restarts play there, and will send it across to Toby Neville, the Englishman. Neville will send it across to Donjon. Who is from France. He'll receive the ball again from Harry Dale. It'll be Saracen on the left wing, looking to run into some space and is able to get around Jack Burgess. Now taking on Kowalski, cuts inside with his right foot, back onto his left. And it'll be sent out of play by William Nilsson, who has a couple times in this match had to play cleanup. A great bit of footwork there from Saracen to go around 3 Gamecocks on their right-hand side, his left-hand side, and win a quarter kick for his side. Eagles looking really, really dangerous.
He's been sneaky dangerous tonight, too. He hasn't touched the ball much, but when he gets it, he makes plays down the sideline. He brings it into the field a lot. But that was a beautiful play there, almost a highlight reel goal as he cut through a couple defensemen. Nilsson with a great step on him.
A little bit too greedy there. That ball will go out. Be swung in with a right foot. A little bit low to the top of the box for Kevin Pierre, who sets up his center back for another terrible attempt on goal for Donjon. Not even on goal.
That ball's gone.
That one might have cleared the shrubs and gone into the street.
I think it did.
Yeah, went over, as our lovely tech on tonight, Doug, tells us. That one went over the fence.
I mean, that's the second great. And that was a beautiful set piece, too. That was a great pass at the top of the box. He was wide open. Just got a little too amped up, I guess. That's the second time the center back's done that.
Carolina will have possession in midfield. Jack Burgess. River Lamorier, first-time ball out to the left wing for Sonny Quintanilla. Underlapping run, Velasquez Lopez was not found. It'll be sent into the middle for Jack Burgess with time and space. Send it all the way out to the right wing with Camden Kowalski, who's unable to keep that one in play as it'll bounce just over his head for a throw-in, presumably taken by Caruso, and it will be. Caruso will send it back to Donjon, who will probably not want to see the highlights of this game as he's unable to keep the ball down. Need to lean over it next time. But here is a nice move being put together by the Eagles as Pierre is fouled after he took a heavy touch into some space on the right wing by Jonah Bigar. And this is another set-piece opportunity for them. We saw how they crafted a well-worked one before that resulted in a shot. See if they're able to do so again. Hopefully they will be.
Yeah.
But this second half has started really fast. Very entertaining so far to watch. Carolina really unable to get out of their own half, it seems.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Zander. And Bigar just got a yellow there. Like, I talk about the mental errors. I've said it a few times tonight. Like, that was definitely a little too aggressive for my liking. Looks like Pierre's still down there, but he's getting up now.
Yeah, a lot of action in the second half. No yellows for each team in the first half, but a couple already coming out of the referee's pocket in the second half as we're just over 15 minutes in.
Definitely a lot more physical.
Yes, for sure.
You can see the physicality starting to ramp up. It's definitely starting to get more aggressive. We're just 10 minutes into this half, and we've already seen a couple bodies flying, a couple guys hitting each other.
Dale's cross is a good one coming into the box, almost to the head of Toby Neville, but it'll be Holmes receiving the ball at the left wing. Nice little bit of play from Caruso to send it right back out to Holmes, who looks to tee up across with his right foot. It is not a good one. Low to the ground and cut out by who else but William Nilsson. as we mentioned, cleanup crew tonight. We sent out to the left side for Kevin Pierre. Caruso will link up with Sarajin, who's got Nilsson on his back, pressuring him. Great turn by O'Connor, who received that 1 yellow card earlier in this match for the Eagles. Now with it on the ball is Seher. We'll send it to aspiring striker center back Don John. Sarajin looks to take on Kowalski on this left side. Does so, moves into the box. Not the box, excuse me, into the midfield to Harry Dale. We'll send it right back to him. Unable to keep that ball with him, and it'll be sent out to Martin Yahya, senior being awarded tonight. It's intercepted by Toby Neville, who will send it to Holmes, who is now in a different position. Like we keep saying, he's everywhere, and truly he is in the half space on the right-hand side now. Crossfield pass is cut out by Kowalski, but it'll still be the Eagles' ball. Sarajin looking to continue to be dangerous. His pass is intercepted and sent up the field, and the Eagles will be able to settle things down a little bit and maybe slow the pace of the game down, even though they're going to want to keep attacking with this pace.
Gabriel Atienza starting to warm up on the sideline for the Gamecocks.
Another senior. Lewis taking on Nilsson is able to draw a penalty.
No.
That's the dangerous aspect of the game that I've been talking about with Ricky Lewis. He is so darn quick. So it doesn't even matter if he's getting good touches on the ball. If he plays it around you, he's going to body you off the ball and just get around you. And he does a great job to win his side a penalty to potentially draw them even in this Sun Belt matchup that both teams want to win, as we mentioned.
Yeah, this is
huge.
Huge. A lot of points on the line for both these teams tonight. They're going to actually review this penalty because there's an uproar from, I think, every Gamecock on the field there. They don't think that was a penalty at all. They might have thought that was a little theatrical from Ricky Lewis.
I think it's a great call. I mean, he gets around William Nilsson, and Nilsson has to step in front of him, try to win the ball, and
I'm not saying I
Lewis
disagree
hits
with
the deck.
the call. Yeah, I agree with you, Zander. I think it's just another mental error that I said they couldn't make, and here they are about to potentially give Georgia Southern a golden opportunity to get
Vistier,
right
no
back
doubt,
in this
definitely
game.
has some notes on this team's penalty taker. We'll see if he's able to step up once more. I mean, he's been phenomenal in this game. We mentioned Ricky Lewis a bunch of times. He's had about 3 chances to score, 2 one-on-ones even that he blew the chances for. Vistier really keeping them in this, especially in this second half where the Eagles have looked like the better side attacking. And they're finally getting another chance out of this one. A golden opportunity from the penalty spot. We'll see if they can convert it.
Lewis
Ref's still looking at this one, so maybe.
Yeah, I was just trying to find him. He must be over at one of the iPads underneath our.
Yeah, I see him hunched over now.
In the bright orange. Thank you for
Hard to
wearing
miss
that
him.
highlighter color. So, but yeah, you mentioned Ricky Lewis having a great night and having those opportunities. He's not gonna miss many more. So
No.
when you have the opportunity to stop him, thankfully the Gamecocks have. But if he doesn't psych himself out here and think that he really needs this goal, I think he's got a great chance to bury it. But Vistier, he's got, like you said, he's got the notes on him. He knows probably where exactly he wants to go.
The Great Dane from Denmark.
The Great Dane,
of course. I would presume that it's Ethan Holmes taking this, their top goal scorer of the season. I would imagine that a few of his goals, his 10 goals this season, would be from the penalty spot. But you never know. You watch professional games now, and they have like a designated person to hold the ball and take all the abuse from. It's not going to be a penalty.
Wow.
Which I think is an interesting call. I mean, obviously we don't have video review up here in the booth, but it looked for sure like a penalty. Maybe they're saying he went down a little bit too easy.
I think he just pointed to the heel of his left foot. They're maybe saying he tripped himself up maybe a little bit, or they just made contact. I'm not sure like you said, I'm not sure exactly what they were saying, but I thought that was disastrous for the Gamecocks for a minute. Ricky Lewis still giving it to the head
really
official.
not happy with that call, and I can see why. I mean, it definitely seemed like Nilsson got a touch on the man and not the ball. Obviously Lewis hit the deck, and you would expect there to be a stoppage, but I think they're complaining that they didn't receive a corner off of that, and it'll just be a drop ball for Vistier. But
head referee Amin Hadzik making the call. Ricky Lewis showed his displeasure.
It's a very interesting one as well. I mean, I thought for sure that was a pen.
And I mean, we go to South Carolina. It is student Gamecock television. But even worse saying
Yeah.
that potentially should have been.
Terrible challenge in the air from Toby Neville on Martin Chiaha. And it'll be a foul in the center circle here. Was it like
The
this
Eagles
undercut him up when he went for the
Yeah,
header?
the Eagles cannot get reckless here. They cannot allow that to make them so much more aggressive than they were, because the more aggressive you get, obviously, the more rational you're going to act.
That's that physicality that you were saying that has
Exactly.
really come to life in the second half for both teams.
And I think they were like, if you're not going to call that down in the box, we're going to see what we can get away with.
Yeah.
Not that one, because that was pretty blatant, but that was
Yeah.
that was a bit much. But just don't lose your heads if you're Georgia Southern. You still got 26 minutes.
And they've looked like such a better side in this second half, too.
They have. They have made their halftime adjustments. They know exactly what they need to go after. They're going to get a call here.
Holmes will go down and win himself.
It's going back to the South Carolina zone.
I mean, this is very inspiring, I would think, for Georgia Southern. They've looked like the better side, even in the final minutes of the first half, as Gabriel Atienza will come on for his senior night debut. Or not a debut, but it will be his debut in this game for senior night. And play will restart with the Eagles and Martinez, who on their website is labeled as number 1, but wearing 36 tonight. A long ball, another one looking for Lewis. He seems to be on the receiving end of a lot of challenging balls to get to, but it makes sense. He's looked like their best player tonight. Unfortunately, unable to hit the back of the net so far. 2 one-on-one chances against Vestier, but Vestier has proved to be a very good keeper, as he does every game.
Few dangerous passes there, but South Carolina really taking their time getting it out of the zone. There's the long ball.
There it is.
Long pass, sorry.
Burgess into Chiaha will send the ball into Ballack, who has some room to run, has a man overlapping him, and that is Quintanilla. Cross comes into the top of the box. Burgess, goal! Burgess doubles the lead after what could have been a penalty for Georgia Southern, and that's going to take a lot of life out of the Eagles as a great shot. It seems like Martin Chiaha let that ball roll to the top of the box off of that cross, and Jack Burgess was there to score on senior night as a senior with a thunderbolt of a ball off of his right foot. Keeper unable to react, and that net rippled really hard there.
A senior night goal for Jack Burgess, indeed. That was an absolute beauty. What a hard, powerful strike. And that was even deflected a little bit, but because it was so powerful, it found its way into the net. Goes to the left side of Martinez, went through a couple defenders, and we saw a couple Georgia Southern defenders laying on the turf after that goal.
I mean, you see what that means to this team.
You know.
A senior scoring on senior. Both of the seniors, both of the goal scorers,
Yep.
excuse me, are seniors. Everybody on the bench ran to Jack Burgess.
Some fairy tale script writing, seniors scoring on senior night. That's huge. That is so huge for Carolina to get that second goal and play from a 2-goal lead rather than 1. Georgia Southern looked a little defeated after that goal. They still have 25 minutes. There's still a lot of time, and they know that for sure, and they're going to start throwing the kitchen sink a little bit at them here.
But what a finish
for
your first goal of the season, first goal involvement of the season, and what a way to score.
And I'm talking about the strike and how powerful it was, but his positioning there was amazing. He was waiting, very patient, getting
Ballack
into the zone.
through there.
And then as soon as the ball squirted through the defense, he was there to put that strike on the ball.
Finally, someone following up those crosses.
Yep.
I mean,
That's exactly what I was talking
about.
about.
How nobody was running in behind.
Exactly.
And the first time that the Gamecocks do it, I mean, it results in a goal. So I'm sure they'll continue.
I don't know what I'm talking about most of the time, but I've been very adamant about that. Like, we had 6 guys there, and we scored a goal. Like, that's what I'm telling you. You get 5, 6 guys in the box, it's gonna find a way to you. And Jack Burgess was there to play cleanup crew, but on the offensive side.
I mean, I'll keep saying it. Senior night, first goal of the season. It had everyone on the bench run up to the corner flag to help celebrate with Jack Burgess. A beautiful moment for him on senior night, and one that he'll remember for the rest of his career.
Absolutely.
O'Connor now with the ball. Send it into Lewis, who's unable to find Caruso. And Jack Burgess will send it back to Kowalski. And now Ballack with a little bit of footwork there, and will foul. I think that is O'Connor. Yeah, it is O'Connor. He'll send it back to Don John and restart possession for the Eagles, who other than that one chance for the Gamecocks, have really looked like the better side this half. That's definitely discouraging for the Gamecocks to double their lead in that fashion, especially after defending for what seemed to have been 10 to 15 minutes in this half. Lewis with a little bit of trickery on the left wing, looking to take on Kowalski. Send it back out to Caruso and into the middle of the field for Dale. Dale's shot comes in straight to Vestier, who received his, I want to say, 4th or 5th save in this game. He's had a lot to do, even with how good defensively this Gamecocks team is.
Vestier's
safe pair of hands.
Vestier is normally getting, what, 2 to 3, maybe at most 4 shots when we call these kind of games, but he's been very busy tonight, and one of them came from the first 10, 15 minutes where he had to make probably a game-saving save.
Beautiful pass from Martin Yahya out to Ethan Ballack on this right side, who was unable to reach it, though. Great defense there from Donjon, the man from France. And it'll be possession from a very urgent Eagles side here, looking to string some together. We'll come back to Martinez, who has been a very good distributing goalkeeper for them. Touch into space for Donjon. See what he'll do with it here. Send it out to Caruso with a beautiful, nice little reverse spinning pass for Sarajin, who has a lot of Gamecocks around him, but is still pressing on.
Ooh.
And that pass into some space will be kicked out kind of dangerously by Quintanilla, and I believe it'll be a corner.
Yeah, thankfully that had enough power on it. I was a little worried that he was putting that right back in the box.
This is where I start to get worried for this Gamecock squad, because they have not been great defending corner kicks this season. And this could be a great way for the Eagles to get back into this one, because they've been clawing at it. They're unfortunate not to have scored a couple times, I think, in this match. Header comes in from Toby Neville, and it looks like it came off the post, or Vestier even got a palm to it, but it bounced just in front of the goal line, unable to be put in by the Georgia Southern. I mean, they are just knocking at the door.
I mean, opponents are outscoring South Carolina in corner kicks 84 to 64, including all the ones from tonight. So it's definitely lopsided, especially defensively on these corner kicks.
Another
Not in a good way.
Comes in from Caruso. A great ball to the head of Toby Neville. Again, is able to get his head on it, but it is hit right into the chest of Andrew Goldsworthy. Donjon will send one back out wide to Sarajin, who's been a very creative player for them. Very dangerous player as well on the left wing. Looking to take someone on. We'll send it back to Seher. We'll send a pass into the box for Pierre, and we'll win another corner. This is getting really dangerous for the Gamecocks. They just need to get the ball out. Maybe the long ball, it is time for that. Just to give their defense a little bit of a break. They are just peppering them with shots and chances. Another goal, or another corner kick comes in here now. And it is met at the back post.
There you go.
By Atienza, his first bit of play in the second half. Cross comes back in. A volley that was not too shabby from Ethan Holmes. I mean, it was always rising, obviously, but great connection there. Unable to put it on target, though. Vestier just kind of stood there. I mean, he can't react to a shot that powerful. But, I mean, they just seem so unlucky not to have put one in the net.
Yeah, they seem a little snake-bitten here offensively, and they just had another golden opportunity. They just had 3 corner kicks right in a row. As shaky as it was, I think South Carolina might be getting out of this sticky situation, and that's real big, because that could have been disastrous. Well, not disastrous, but definitely could have been a little more nerve-wracking if it was a 2-1 game versus 2-0.
Caruso in possession now on the left side. Donjon will look to find his center back partner, which is Toby Neville, who just had 2 header chances off of back-to-back corner kicks, unable to put that one back in the back of the net. Now it's Caruso on the ball again, who's looked very good as an attacking fullback. His pass, though, will not be able to reach Lewis. And it'll be a foul from Lewis on William Nilsson. Or actually, he'll be offside. For the first time this match, someone is being called offside here. I don't know if you guys can hear, but the trains are definitely running tonight in Columbia. Very, very loud. And Nilsson seems to have maybe been stepped on in that action, leading to that offsides call on Ricky Lewis.
Those who go to South Carolina know how often trains roll through here.
Especially those that live off campus.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nilsson will restart play by sending it back to Vestier, who has been very, very good for the Gamecocks tonight, keeping them in this one. Big part of why the clean sheet is still being achieved by them. Throw in will be taken quickly. It seemed to have been, but it'll be played in backwards to Toby Neville, the Exeter City man. Great bit of pressing there by Martin Yahya, who is maybe one of his best attributes for this Gamecock squad. He never stops running when the ball is near him. Caruso in some space now in the left side half space. On the left wing now is Sarajin, who's been very dangerous, cutting in and around these players. Still with the ball now, looking to get a shot off. Right foot shot comes in, blocked by Nilsson. Didn't get much height on it, and it was easy to deal with from Nilsson. But the Eagles still have the ball here. Left-hand side, cross comes in to Lewis, unable to get a touch on it, and Rivelo Morier will just boot that one up into the air and hope that one of his teammates can come down with it.
Nilsson playing a great game defensively here tonight, getting the balls out when they need to. He's just everywhere. He's just right where the ball is, and right where a Georgia Southern defender should be, or attacker should be. We have a Gamecock defender there in William Nilsson.
Absolutely, and now the Gamecocks have a throw in the opposite side of the field, a place that is unknown territory for them, which seems in this second half.
I mean, since the Jack Burgess goal, I feel like we haven't been on the Georgia Southern side of the field tonight. So this is definitely where you want to take some time and just kill some clock here.
Well, very clinical side tonight in the Gamecocks. They were able to have the same amount of shots on target in less attempts than Georgia Southern, just showing some of that class that they have, even for players that don't normally start, like Jack Burgess coming on and scoring on senior night. O'Connor now will send the ball out to Sarajin, who's got a little bit of a tug of the shirt by Kowalski, and now Burgess, but still with the ball now on the left wing, unable to get across in. It'll be another corner kick where they're definitely going to want to get some power behind the header. I mean, they've even won a couple headers in the box off these corner kicks, but unable to convert them thus far. Is this finally the chance for the Eagles to get on the board? And because if they're gonna come back, they need to start soon. As less than 17 minutes left on the clock here at Stone Stadium. Gamecocks fighting for their lives, it seems. Cross comes in and is punched away by Vestier, only up to the top of the box with Seher. Seher left-footed cross comes in, headed away by Jonah Begar, and now booted up the field, presumably, by Sebastian Rivelo-Morier, and it will go out for a throw-in for the Eagles. Great bit of play there as Grant Matier now on the field. We'll have a lot of room to work with. Two on two here. Ball comes out to Jack Burgess, the goal scorer. Cross comes in for Grant Matier. He's unable to get a foot on it, and it's swallowed up by Martinez. Very well done there by Martinez. I think he's a bit unlucky to have conceded 2 goals. He's played very well tonight.
A beautiful cross there from Burgess, too. I was just saying a couple minutes ago how they want to possess the ball and kill some clock, but they had an opportunity to join the rush there, and that's exactly what they did off the turnover. Good transition play from the Gamecocks, just a couple inches short, and a great play by Martinez in the box.
Yes, as O'Connor will have possession and will send it out to his right back in Seher. And now in the middle is Harry Dale, 4 assists on the season, been a very big part of their offensive creation in the Sun Belt Conference this season. Don John now with loads of time and space can send it across the back line.
If you're Georgia Southern, you don't have to score immediately, but you're going to want to. You're going to want to, and you're going to feel a lot better about your chances if you get one here in the next couple minutes. Final 15 here, ticking off.
Now on the ball is Holmes. Bit quiet tonight from him. Sarajin now looking to take 2 players on. Finds Holmes at the top of the box. Shot comes in. Great reflex save there by Vestier. That one was not really placed very well, but came in at a very high speed. He kind of just put his palms in front of his face and pushed it up over the bar. Done very well. I mean, he has probably been the Gamecocks' best player of this game.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier how it's hard to react to such a powerful kick. He did a great job thinking quick there.
Cat-like reflexes from the Dane, the Great Dane. He's able to get a hand on this cross once more, and now Grant Matier has some space to run if he's able to get on the end of his heavy touch, but he is unable to. It'll be Dale on the left wing, linking up with his fellow Englishman, Holmes, who will send it into the middle of the field for Kevin Pierre. Cross field ball goes back into Holmes, looking to cut in. will send a ball out to Caruso. Left-footed cross comes in, headed away by Goldsworthy. And Grant Mateer will collect possession in his own half towards the corner flag. And back to Nilsson, who will try to clear the ball, but it will fall to the feet of an opponent. O'Connor now with some space. We'll send it out to the left-hand side, which has had a lot of action in this second half. Saracen so easily able to get around these players each time, but his cross is going to be, he's going to be left wanting a little bit of a better chance there as his cross will sail over the goal and out for a goal kick.
If I'm Georgia Southern, I don't know what else I can do. I mean, we've kicked it short, try to get a bounce inside, go our way. It's been, luckily for us, Gamecock bounces on both sides of the field tonight. You try on the corners to go deep and head it in. You try to go short. You try a set piece. It's just nothing's really working for Georgia Southern. And as shaky at times as it has been for the Gamecocks, and we've kind of talked about that tonight, the question marks they have, they've played pretty well. And, you know, they're not getting it entirely out of their half. They're getting it out of the box, which is way more important. Yeah. Just because if you're on your heels, it's gonna get ugly really fast. And they've just adjusted well the second half.
Ted Cargill and De La Gracia coming on for Revelo Morier and Martin Giaja, who have both played very well when they are able to get it out of their own half. Specifically, as we mentioned, Giaja is really good pressing. So we'll see if this brings a little bit of a different dynamic. Of course, Cargill started this game and helped contribute to that goal in the first half. We'll see if he's able to do another. It'll be a throw for Georgia Southern, who play it back to their center back, Toby Neville, and across to Don John, who has had those terrible attempts earlier, but I'm sure it's out of his mind.
I'm sure he's looking for another attempt just to
absolutely
right the ship.
There's a wonderful Dion Waiters quote.
What a pull, Dion Waiters.
I mean, why would you stop shooting? You know? Can't score if you don't shoot. Toby Neville on the ball now, and now it will come back all the way for Harry Dale, who will send a ball into the half space for Saracen, but it hits off the foot of a Gamecock defender. But it's something that we've seen very recently is that even when the Gamecocks are able to get the ball out for just a moment, it always is falling to these Eagles players, and they're able to just start another attack. And it's been really hard for the Gamecocks to keep up with.
Yeah, within the box, I just mentioned it a couple minutes ago that it's a lot of bounces are going the Gamecocks' way, but when it comes out of the box, there's just an Eagle everywhere. There's another one.
And Jack Burgess will just take a chance to get this one as far up the field as he can, and it'll fall to the foot of Martinez, who will, like I said, just start another attack. Just they keep attacking. Eventually, they're going to get one.
I really want to see a good long possession from the Gamecocks.
It's been really hard. I mean, it's been a different defensive shape as the Eagles went 2-0 down. I mean, they're a little bit more urgent to step to the player with the ball. I mean, that first half, they kind of just let Carolina attack and try to bite them back on the counterattack, but it actually was a counterattack that put the Gamecocks up in the first place. So a few players getting ready to come on for the Eagles. That is number 2, Ole Songe. Number 11, Matthew Dean, who made an appearance in the first half, as well as Zachary Martin, who also made an appearance in the first half. But a new face warming up beside them as Ty Wilson, who his parents are directly in front of us in the first row. Very nice for him to be able to get some minutes in front of his family who traveled here. As Kowalski's on the ground, does a great job there to win possession and a free kick for his team.
I like this idea by Georgia Southern. You know, they just did a full sail change, and that's what we call it in hockey when it's about 4 or 5 guys. You get everyone off, put a bunch of fresh legs on, but you haven't really been able to find the back of the net yet. Maybe try the Enduro game. Try and get these 4 or 5 fresh legs out there who can just go run around this maybe tired defense.
Well, they definitely are tired. They've been soaking up a lot of pressure. Fortunately, they've been able to keep the ball out of their net and keep that clean sheet for the back line and Philippe Vestier. But it hasn't been easy. As a terrible pass from Burgess releases Martin into some space, who sent it to Ethan Holmes, who was unable to get a touch, and Keith Ania will come rescuing the ball on the left side of the Gamecocks defense. Sends a great ball into Grant Mateer, who takes a nice touch, but the second one not so pretty. Jonah Begar breaking up play and sending it back out to Grant Mateer on the left side. Begar now with some space to run on the left wing. Will send a long ball towards the foot of Valentino De La Grazia, but It'll be sent back by the center back, Toby Neville, to his goalkeeper's play stopped here. It looks to be...
No, Ricky Lewis is over here. That might be Pierre.
Yes, it looks like Kevin Pierre has gone down. Number 8 for Georgia Southern. Maybe he took a foot to the foot or something. Got stepped on.
Got stepped on or something like that. Clock is stopped with 10:08, obviously, but...
Comeback looking unlikely now with just 10 minutes to go, especially as this defense has been so strong. They have been defending a lot, but that doesn't mean they haven't been defending well.
And we've seen crazier. We've seen some crazy things happen, but to get 2 goals in 10 minutes after not being able really to score all game, it's looking unlikely. But I'm not counting it out of possibility because of how much this ball's been in the half. It feels like they're going to score any minute now. It's just when and where and how much time will be left when they do, if they do, I should say.
AJ Pama coming on for the injured Kevin Pierre, who he also made an appearance in the first half, although in a different position, I would think. He's playing holding midfield, was playing center back in the first half. Ethan Holmes with a nice turn to send it in to Zachary Martin. It'll be cut out by the goal scorer, Jack Burgess. Long ball over the top to De La Gracia, but he will be unable to make it there as a heavy touch from the goalkeeper. They're going to want to get this throw in quick. Goalkeeper out of his box, but they'll opt to waste a little bit of time instead of being maybe even caught on the counter there.
I saw what you mean when you were saying they should get it in there quickly with the goalkeeper out of the box, but this is perfect for the Gamecocks. This is exactly what they needed. Give your defense at least a minute to just catch their breath, and they're going to turn it right over. But, I mean, that was a golden opportunity.
What, 10, 20 seconds that they can use to recover.
Exactly. But that could have been 60 to 70 had you had a good possession there and really help your defense out there in the final
Ricky
8
Lewis
minutes.
where he's most dangerous. One-on-one with Kowalski on the left wing. Cuts back. We'll send it to Caruso. Caruso now to O'Connor. And back out to Caruso on the left side where most of their attacks have started, I must say. Caruso will send it across the field to Don John, who is in a pretty advanced position for what he's used to. Heavy touch there will be cut out by William Nilsson, who's been so great defensively for this Gamecock squad. Even when some of his other defenders get beat, he's always there to cut out the last touch. Here we go. Here's some meaningful possession finally for the Gamecocks as they'll look to waste a lot of time here. Here comes Lawson.
Yeah, this is
Wilson,
exactly what I wanted to see.
Not Ty Lawson, Ty Wilson.
Another turnover. I would have liked to see another 10, 20 seconds bled off the clock there, but
Caruso out to Lewis. Looking to take on Kowalski once more. Left foot across on the way will be cut out by Nilsson, but only as far as the offside Lewis. And this will be a great chance for the clock to run a little bit more for the Gamecocks too.
And we know Vistier loves to take his time. We see him after every save catching, go down to the ground for about 10 seconds, have the ref yell at him a couple times. But
I mean, hey, he's not even been cautioned yet, so I wouldn't be surprised if he does receive a yellow for wasting a little bit more time. The ref is telling him to get play on with.
7
taking
minutes.
So many steps back to make sure he gets some power behind this one and wastes a little bit more time. His ball comes into the middle of the field, looking for the head of Kowalski, but it'll be intercepted, but come right back to them, and they'll have some possession with Jonah Bagar, who is temporarily at center back for them.
I like this a lot. I feel like this is all I've talked about for the past 5 minutes is getting the possessions.
Jack Burgess now with the ball. 3-on-2. We'll send the ball out. Touch off of De La Gracia. And now it'll be Grant Mateer. Shot comes in from Grant Mateer. Beautiful goal. Looping into the top corner over the extended hand of Nick Martinez. And Carolina, 3 goals up now. It's over.
Icing on the cake. A huge goal from the Gamecocks. They did finally, they did exactly what I asked.
Yeah.
Get the possession and then attack when you need to. You had numbers. You caught them in your half of the field. And finally, a 3-on-2 turns into a goal and a 3-0 lead.
Beautiful one at that, Austin.
Oh, beautiful chip shot.
Top right corner.
Ooh.
I mean, strikers dream of getting an opportunity like that. 3-on-2 off of that break. Kind of comes off the knee of De La Gracia all the way into the path of Grant Mateer, who's able to take a touch, step inside, just wrap his foot around it, and into the back of the net it went.
Yeah, but Tier's been a big name we've called here in the second half, too, just because of whenever they are in the offensive zone, they look for him or Ballack, and it just, even with a 2-0 lead, Georgia Southern was pressing and pressing and pressing, and it never felt like it was over. It never felt comfortable with the lead. So getting that third goal is massive, and these fans can definitely take a sigh of relief now.
Well, with how much they've been defending, Commentators has been an outlet with them, using his speed to just get the ball as far away from the goal as possible, and finally being rewarded for his hard work on the defensive end of the ball with a beauty that Nick Martinez will never be saving.
Yep.
But
No
now,
goalie
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, the Eagles look very discouraged right now, especially because they've been on a front foot for most of this game, especially the second half. I mean, a 3-0 result doesn't really tell the story, I don't think. I think that the Eagles, as much as the Gamecocks have beat the Eagles, I think the Eagles are beating themselves as well.
Yep.
Just not really able to take any of those chances that they've been receiving.
Yep. And they've had quite a few, like we just talked about. They just could not capitalize when they needed to.
Ty Wilson now on the ball, looking to get a cross in with his right foot. It will come off of the leg of Jonah Begar, and it'll be another corner for the Eagles.
Another good opportunity for the Eagles. Another corner kick coming up, but again, Begar, great defensive play. They're doing just enough to keep them out of the goal and keep Vestier's shutout going.
5:20 left in this second half. You're going to think that it's almost out of reach for the Eagles to be able to come back, unless this comes one in. Oh, double header off the head of Ricky Lewis, who we've said his name a lot tonight with how creative he's been on that left wing. Header comes in from Toby Neville, that's his like third header, one off of corners, across the net and to the head of Ricky Lewis, whose header loops just over the crossbar. A sigh of relief for the Gamecocks so they can run this clock off even more right now.
I really thought that I just gave the announcer jinx to Vestier, because that was a beautiful header. That was probably the closest one they've had tonight that came from a shot that wasn't on goal. Vestier didn't really have to make a save there, but just a couple of them going a little too high. They just had Georgia Southern gotten a few more shots on target, I feel like this would be a much different game.
Absolutely. Goldsworthy now advancing play and sending the ball out to the goal scorer, Jack Burgess, looking to release Kowalski, who's got some tired legs on him. It'll be sent back all the way to Nick Martinez, doing a little bit of fancy footwork, which you wouldn't expect from a goalkeeper, but as we mentioned, he's very good on the ball, and now he's released Ricky Lewis on this left wing, sending the ball forward or just behind Zachary Martin, who almost fouls Ted Cargill, but Cargill's able to stay up and send the ball back to Jonah Begar. I must say, in possession, I really like the shape from the Gamecocks. We've seen it a couple times this season where in possession they play three at the back, and then they've got those wing backs to help press up the field, and it's helped them get out a couple times of danger in the second half. And it's given them a little bit of defensive security having those wing backs to send the wingers out wide, and then the likes of William Nilsson will come in and clean up those heavy touches. The likes of some tactics similar to those of Thomas Tuchel when he was at Chelsea. Really strong defensive shape there from the Gamecocks. Jonah Begar sending a ball to Atienza. Atienza dispossessed by Dean. Will send a ball out to the right wing for Holmes. Holmes will release Wilson. Wilson looking to get a cross in, and a beautiful sliding challenge from Gabriel Atienza on his senior night to send that one out for what must be the 10th corner for Georgia Southern, as we're under 3 minutes to play here at Stone Stadium.
And it's not even just like, we've said Nilsson's name a lot tonight. We always say Goldsworthy's name, but it's been everybody contributing on defense and making sure they stay out.
It's very, very disciplined as well. Just a few yellow cards, but nothing close to the box. Another great challenge by Nilsson, or Kowalski, excuse me, and it'll be Velasquez Lopez winning a foul for his team in between the box and the center circle. 2:25 here left to go, and you got to think it's all but one for Carolina. I don't even think there is enough time, even if Georgia Southern gets 2 goals here, for them to be able to come back and win a point, let alone 3. Atienza will send it out to the left-hand side for Jonah Begar. And out to Sonny Quintanilla, who's received a lot of playing time here tonight, which is lovely to see for him. And going into this tournament in just 5 days, Austin, this is going to be a great result for them, a great, huge bounce back for them. Very different from their last result, the 4-0 loss to UCF, which was a team that Georgia Southern actually was able to beat 2-0. So, I mean, it shows just how anybody can win any game. And fortunately, the Gamecocks have won this one. Minute 30 to go now.
We used the word momentum earlier tonight. It's going to be important, and I know Tony Annan's fired up, and he will be fired up here, just because if we are not mistaken, which we kind of did our research at the beginning of the game, couldn't really get a clear answer, but I'm pretty sure if you're a higher seed, you get to host a game. So that's a very big win for the Gamecocks tonight.
Cross comes in from Caruso, and it'll be caught by Vestir, who there are those theatrics that you were mentioning, going on top of the ball and wasting 10 to 20 seconds here. And
Georgia Southern won't really put up much of a fight after that one, though, just because.
No, less than a minute here to play at Stone Stadium. The only thing really to play for is breaking that clean sheet that the Gamecocks are holding right now. But a long side-footed pass up the field to Camden Kowalski. We'll see some more time ran off as Kowalski fouls Matthew Dean in the process. Great result for the Gamecocks. I mean, I got to say there were a couple times in this match that I was really scared that they would be caught out on, specifically on the counter with some of these faster wingers that Georgia Southern possesses. Some good crosses coming in also, but Georgia Southern not really being able to get on the end of those. But that's not to say they didn't have a lot of chances. There were 2 one-on-ones that were not capitalized on, and just I think that they'll be kicking themselves that they didn't take more chances.
And for the Gamecocks, it wasn't necessarily a must-win because they came in at the top half of the table in the standings, but to get this win is very big, and you can have that sigh of relief if you're Tony Annan. Well, yes, obviously you do want to win every game, but just getting the win and making sure that you can solidify your spot in the standings is huge. And on the other side for Georgia Southern, as the
final whistle goes, as a very excited Gamecock crowd celebrates the 3-0 win against Georgia Southern. I mean, not the most deserving win, but I mean, if you're going to take your chances and score, that's going to win you the game. I think that it was much closer than the scoreline tells the average fan that is only looking at the stats. Georgia Southern unable to really capitalize. There's 2 one-on-ones from Ricky Lewis. I mean, could have really changed the game. But that's the magnitude of Philippe Vestir, who's been so good in between the sticks for the Gamecocks all season. Huge win on Election Day, on senior night, as the alma mater will start to play here. But that is not it, actually. But
a lot going on in the world today. A lot. It's a huge day. Just for them to stay focused and get that win, survive in advance. A win is a win. It does not matter. It doesn't matter what political party you vote for. Everyone tonight was a South Carolina fan. Everyone was cheering for those seniors. It's an emotional night for these Gamecock soccer players, and we're so glad. A couple of them got goals. A couple of them, Jack Burgess got his first goal, so that was awesome. It was just a great night to see.
Who else but Harrison Myring?
And Myring.
Great material.
A headliner all year.
A rare name in the score sheet as well, but
with a beauty.
Yeah, exactly. That's the capability of this team. But yeah, I mean, this was the last regular season game for the Gamecocks, but make sure you're still watching out, because I think that means that they might have secured another home game for the Sun Belt Conference tournament coming up in just 5 days on November 10th. But that'll do it for us from SGTV. I'm Zander Collins, and this is Austin McConnell. Thank you guys so much for joining us on a very special senior night for the Carolina Gamecocks, and we'll see you next time.